we want to use the 16 values that were given to find the least squares line between tug score and Berg score. The tug score is our x variable, and the Berg score is our y variable. And to do this, we need some different sums. So what we're going to want to do is sum up our x values. So we would get that by just adding our tug scores, 2.2 plus 2.3 plus 3.0, and so on. If you add up all 16 values, you should get a total of 102.8. We also want to add up our y's, so we add 51, 52, 53, 46, and so on. Those add up to 729. The other things we want to do is add our values squared for both x and y. So the sum of x's squared is where we take each value and square it first, then add them together. So we would take 2.2 and square it, 2.3 and square it, 3 squared, and so on. We add all those values together, and you could verify that what you get for that is 767.4. We do the same thing for our y's. We would take 51 squared plus 52 squared plus 53 squared plus 46 squared, and so on. And so that one gives us a total of 33535. We won't actually need that one for this part, but we'll need it for other parts, so I'll just do that now. And then we also want to take our x's and y's and multiply them and add them together. So the sum of x, y, what that would look like is you'd take 2.2 and multiply it times 51. Then you're going to add to that what you get if you take 2.3 and multiply by its pair, 52, and so on. So take each xy pair, multiply, add them all together, and what you'll get for that one is 4520.1. So once we have those, we can find our slope. The only other thing we need is our sample size, which is the number of pairs we have, which we have 16 people, so n is equal to 16. So we're going to take our n times our sum of xy, so 4520.1, minus the sum of the x's, 102.8, times the sum of the y's, which is 729. We divide by, again, n, times sum of the x's squared, that's the 767.4, minus sum of x's, which is 102.8 squared. These two terms differ in that the 767.4 is where we squared every number first, then we added them together. The 102.8 is where we added all the x's up, and then we only square once at the end. So those will result in different quantities. So what we get for this is a slope of negative 1.531. Once you have your slope, you can find your intercept, and you find your intercept b0 by taking your y bar. So y bar is just the average of the y's. We know the y's added up to 729, so if we take 729 divided by 16, that will be the average of the y's. Then you subtract your slope, so we'll subtract a negative 1.531 times x bar, and we added up our x's to 102.8, so our x bar will be 102.8 divided by 16. And what you should get here then is a b0 equal to 55.4. So our least squares line is equal to our 55.4 for our intercept minus 1.531 times x. And if we wanted to comment on what the slope means here, what the slope is saying is if I increase my x by 1, my y is going to change by the amount of the slope. So in terms of the problem, what it's saying is if I have an increase of 1 in my tug score, my x, so if that tug score goes up by 1 point, our y, which is our Berg score, is going to change by the slope. And we have a negative slope, so that means our Berg score is going to go down. So for every 1 unit or 1 point increase in tug score, we expect our Berg score to go back down by 1.531 points.